some boxing. We're gonna talk a lot of boxing. You know, who knows how long I'm gonna be on here, but I got some time, so we're gonna discuss some boxing. Shout out to Diego Pacheco, got the stoppage and a dominant performance. Um, what's up next for him? We'll just have to see. But you know, there's some there's some potential fights out there for him. So his performance was solid. I got to see the highlights and whatnot. So I ain't even gonna lie. I forgot about that fight. I forgot to apply for that fight. I forgot to seek it out, send somebody down there because it was in the LA area, Carson. But I'll try to hit Diego up, try to seek and I set up an interview with him. Um, he looked he looked decent under Buddy McGirt. And that's basically it. That's all I could say. Um, this is like his third, this is like his third trainer, you know, in his last three fights. He went from Benavides Senior to I forgot the last guy he used now, Buddy McGirt. So, I guess he want to try a lot of different looks to, perfect his craft and get better as, the competition gets better. You know, so look forward to seeing him the next time out. I'll definitely try to set up an interview with him. I get along pretty good with his people, so I'll try to see can I hit him up on social media and see can I set up an interview. So stay tuned, you guys. So um in other news, today is, or should I say, after midnight. I think it'll be day 20, and basically, based off the fact that it appears that there was no deal in place. So basically, they couldn't work out a deal, or unless we hear something by the morning, it looked like Keyshawn and Devin is headed for a purse bid, which means anybody could bid on the fight from basically anybody. Now, what I think could possibly happen, nah, I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say. What's up, bro? I ain't gonna say what could happen, but based off the fact that it's going to a purse bid, I mean anybody could bid on it from basically the PBC to um, actually Zufa could bid on it if Matchroom, Golden Boy. It just really comes down to who wants that fight. So we may be hearing something tomorrow. I talked to Bill. He said uh, something is on the way. Something is down the pipeline for Team Haney. So we'll be finding out shortly. Based on the fact that they got Shakur Stevenson right where they want him. Shakur Stevenson think that he running things, but actually, um, Zufa about to show him who's boss. Because at the end of the day, Zufa is not going to be a safe haven for him. They're going to make him fight some people. So they're going to make him fight some people. I'm telling you right now, they could order a rematch with De Los Santos because I'm pretty sure Dana White is like, well, we didn't get the best version of Shakur Stevenson in that fight versus De Los Santos. A lot of people didn't like that fight. Keep in mind, I was at that fight. I was at that fight. If I'm not mistaken, that fight took place on a Thursday or something. Could have sworn. I think that fight took place on a Thursday, but I know I was at that fight. So, and a lot of people were unhappy uh, with the way Shakur Stevenson fought in that fight. So, you know, um, he left a lot to be desired with that performance. And then you got El Rayo, who basically knocks him silly in a controversial fight with a controversial ending. So, you know, um, the zone, like I said, could be a bidder for the fight. Like I said, we'll find out pretty shortly who wants that fight, who's going to offer the most money. And keep in mind, a promotional company could come out of nowhere, and bid on that fight. So we'll see what happens. Um, and then what else? Okay, so tomorrow will officially be fight week. Errol Spence Errol Spence is already in Australia, so this is fight week. Anthony Joshua has a fight coming up. Then also Zuffa, they got something going down next Sunday. So, Saturday and Sunday is boxing weekend. Like I said, I like what Zuffa is doing where they're gonna have cards on Sunday and stuff, I guess, up until the NFL season. Probably when the NFL season hits, they probably are gonna move fights to Saturday. And you never know, they could still have fights on Sunday. I mean, if you think about it, after the Raiders get through playing, you can, if you're in Las Vegas when the Raiders is playing, I mean, you can easily, you know, if they have some shows in Las Vegas, I mean, you could easily go catch a fight in Las Vegas. So we'll see. I don't know what the overall plan is for, Zuffa, but keep in mind, Zuffa swore that they wasn't going to work with the sanctioned bodies, and they're working with the sanctioned bodies because, from what I've been told, that Ryan Garcia's WBC title will be on the line um, when he faces Conor Benn on September the 12th in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. So Zuffa don't appear to have the juice that they claimed that they was going to be able to have, but nevertheless, it'll be a title bout. So let's see, let's see what happens down the line. But anyway, Shakur Stevenson completely got embarrassed and humiliated by Devin Haney to the point he tried to pull a Chris Tucker in, which he was saying, "Oh man, I was trolling. Oh man, I was just no, you wasn't. No, you wasn't, dude. You sat up there. You sat up there and made a baseless statement that you couldn't prove, and you were just sitting up there saying, "Oh, Devin walk around at 180 pounds," and then Devin basically gets on the scale, shows his actual weight, which is 159 pounds, which means um he's 12 pounds above the 147 weight limit for welterweight, which I'm pretty sure he can easily lose that. Keep in mind, if Devin sets up a fight, in all likelihood, it's July. Probably we could see the return to Devin, depending on, um, you know, if everything goes according to plan. We probably could see Devin sometime in October, maybe the end of September. So you never know. Hopefully something gets worked out. Um, something gets worked out this week, and we can get an announcement. We can set up a press conference and all that kind of stuff, and we get prepared to see Devin's next outing. But I mean, if you listen to the interview with Bill Haney, Bill appears to know where Devin's next fight is going to be, and Bill was talking as if, well, I may not have to rent no hotel rooms or go on the road or whatever the case may be, and get in the airplane, and that would work out just great for me because I would rather work in my regional area as much as possible. I love it when they bring fights to the Bay Area. You know, when Dana, I mean, when Dana White eventually brings a fight to the Bay Area, that'll be good for me. Eventually, he'll come to the Bay Area. I'm on the verge of setting up an interview with Dana White, so we'll see what's up. I'm contacting Zuffa, their people, and I'm gonna see can I set up a phone interview with Dana White. So stay tuned. But yeah, if Devin fights in the Bay Area, that would help me out tremendously. So we can rock out. Everybody knows, what I'm saying, how I get down in the Bay, how the Bay get down. We just do things different. So it'll be great if we can get Devin back home, because the last time Devin fought in the Bay Area, Frisco was turned up. It was lit like a Christmas tree, 16,000 people in attendance, sold out. So hopefully we'll have some news. Bill was basically saying he wanted to make the announcement on my on my channel what's gonna happen with Team Haney. Hopefully I'm available. If I'm not at work then, I mean, he can holler at 7-8 or whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, Shakur Stevenson continues to make a fool of himself, because Shakur Stevenson is backed into a corner. Once again, Shakur Stevenson isn't going to be able to float around and basically fight. I'm not gonna go as far as to say bums, but fight, you know, mediocre competition. Because, like I said before, as Zuffa builds its roster, they're going to try to find some recognizable names and some decent names. So I'm telling you right now, Shakur getting paid a lot of money. Dana White put emphasis on that. So basically, he's saying he is going to have to fight the people that he want him to fight. Keep in mind, that's one thing about Dana White. Dana White does have what can I say? Dana White does come across as a dictator. You know, that's the thing. He he openly brags about how he wants to make the best fights possible. So, like I said, we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen with Shakur Stevenson. But Shakur Stevenson just be talking out the side of his ass, and a lot of people are starting to turn on Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson, he is making it very difficult for you to defend him because he keeps lying. You know, he just keeps lying and keeps getting caught in lies. Like I said, this man is all over the place. He says one thing, then he says another. It really depends on what outlet he's on. One minute he's talking this cachet shit like, oh man, people duck at me. Nobody wants to fight me. And then the next thing you know, well, there's a contract in place. One minute he said, oh, weight ain't gonna matter. Weight ain't gonna matter. Then the next outlet, oh man, dude is big. So I gotta make sure, I gotta make sure everything is straight and all this kind of stuff. So I gotta make sure he don't have like, dude, stop it. Stop it. Now I can make a highlight reel basically going in on how many times Shakur Stevenson has contradicted himself just this week alone. But he erased the original tweet where he said, yeah, Devin walk around at 180 pounds, which was a lie. He erased it. So he had to try to walk it back. So he had to basically come with some new material. So I was just trolling. Dude, you wasn't trolling. He was really standing on those statements. My thing was, why didn't you do a video weighing yourself so we can see what your walk around weight is? It kind of reminds me of those white supremacist stuff and a lot of those, a lot of those handkerchief head sambos who love to try to put up these questionable statistics about this with black men or black men do this, black men do that. And then when we ask for what are the statistics with the white men? Oh, I don't know. I know because everybody be fixated on black men, but that's kind of like what you get, you know. Shakur Stevenson should have, posted what his walk around weight was, but he knew better than to do that because if it would have said 170 pounds or 160 plus pounds, which I think Shakur Stevenson walks around easily, probably at 160. And I'll promise you, if Shakur would have did that, people would have been cooking his ass worse than they cooking him right now. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You sitting up there talking about what somebody else would. Can we see what you walk around at? You need to be worried about what your walk around weight is, but Shakur ain't gonna do that. And if Shakur does decide to eventually step on the scale and show what his walk around weight, it won't be for a few days from now. At the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson is slowly but surely showing that he has no intentions on fighting Devin Haney unless he has to. The only listen, I already didn't talk to Team Haiti. Um the only concession they gonna make is the 144 catch weight. That's it, that's all. There will not be a rehydration clause. They will not be none of that shit. Because they're gonna concede to 144 catch weight, then one, no title should be on the line. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I think people kind of was like tripping off seeing Devin hitting that bag because they felt those thumps in those bags. I think I said this, I told Bill and I told y'all this as Devin went up in weight that you was gonna start seeing more knockouts. You was gonna start because, like I said, Devin was really draining himself to try to make weight, to become undisputed. But Devin's frame grew out of 135. Devin's frame grew out of 140. Like I said, when his career's all said and done, Devin probably is gonna finish at probably 147 or 154. You know, I'm just keeping it a buck. You're gonna start seeing more power from Devin, and then Devin didn't learn some tricks. You're gonna see him sitting down on his punches more. You can already see that his jab is blistering and his jab is thumping. You seeing the power. So I expect that you're going to start seeing Devin doing more damage to people at these higher weight classes than what you saw at the lower weight classes. I think whether it's Keyshawn Davis or whether it's Ryan Garcia somewhere down the line or Conor Ben, I think Devin is going to hurt those dudes at some time in the fight. Devin hurt Ryan when they fought at 140. And like I said, Devin made some mistakes in that fight, but at the same time, we all know Ryan Garcia was juiced to the core. And you still got goofy people making excuses, like that goofy dude from NYC, that goofy dude, that goofy bum ass dude, and a few other people, and other cornball, that be in Chicago that said that shit about Bill's mother, but who never come to fights, you know, that dude, the mouse pad mobster. But you're gonna see some vast improvement with Devin. Devin been working on a lot of things, so hopefully I can get Devin on here. I'm gonna request a quick interview with Devin. I'll get Bill on the phone, and I'll see maybe can he three way, and I can get Devin on the phone so we can talk to Devin. But I am gonna try to get Devin on here. Um, Bay Area, just be on alert. Like I said, they could be some upcoming press conferences that could take place in the Bay Area. Does town business know some things? Well, maybe, maybe not. As I said before, y'all already know something is on down the pipeline. There could be an announcement as early as well later on today. If you in, the Midwest, the East Coast. So, because it's after midnight. It's almost midnight here. So we'll see what's up. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Your boy Town. I'm out.